Hey everybody, I'm Mike Still with BBQ Champs Academy, and I am certainly looking forward to tonight's show with Mr. Bill Purvis. It's going to be a great show. This up-and-coming BBQ Pitmaster is just going to be great to talk to and pick his brain a little bit. He's got some things that he wants to share with us, and it is certainly great to be with everybody here tonight. We're all getting ready, I know, for a big Thanksgiving feast this week on Thursday. And from all of us at BBQ Champs Academy, we certainly do want to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. And hope everybody eats lots and lots of food and enjoy some time with family. I know a lot of places. I know I got James on here. Hey, brother, how are you doing? I know he is out in California, and they are just so locked down tight out there. I hate what's going on in some of these places, but I hope everybody can get together safely. Hey, as you come on, we've already got 32 folks already done popped on here. Let us know. We'll give you a shout out. We got Frank on here. I see you, buddy. I have not forgot you. I will be calling you. It's just been crazy. What's going on this last week. I was at a barbecue competition, Frank. I just didn't get a chance to call you, and this week's a short week trying to get everything done. So anyway, certainly glad to have so many of you on here. There's Scott. Scott, same thing, buddy. I will be contacting you. Just give me a chance. We had a big competition to go to down in Marksville, Louisiana this weekend, and I was fortunate enough to grand champion that. That is one of the hardest competitions there is, I think, to win. It's never know who the judges are going to be. Tough people from Texas and Louisiana competing, and I was fortunate enough to win my second grand champion there in the last 3 years, and I went over for the first 3 years cooking down there. It's just a tough place. But anyway, yeah, thanks, Chuck. I do appreciate it, man. I wish y'all could have been there. We're certainly trying to get more of the Texas cookers over here. Tonight, if anybody has any questions for Bill, we certainly do want everyone to make a comment. Let us know. Our podcasts are starting to build some good momentum now, and we're getting a good mix of barbecue and the State Cooker Zone here as well. Mark, hey buddy, how are you doing? I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving as well. Y'all haven't read any of Mark's stuff. He is one of the writers for the Barbecue News magazine and does an awesome job. Hey, looky who just joined the mix. There's Mr. Lee Hickle. Yes, good thing Bill Purvis wasn't there. Yeah, you're right. He got reserve grand champion there last year, so it didn't hurt my feelings that he wasn't there, but I wished he was. We like all the competitors that we can get in these. Before we get started real quick, I do want to make a real quick mention of all of our sponsors, our partners, as we like to call them. They are literally our partners that helps us do all this stuff. We certainly do ask for you guys to reach out and support a lot of these people, especially if they've got some of the supplies. Be Extreme Barbecue, Papa Joe's Grilling Supplies, B&B Charcoal, Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop. Mr. Brian Crawford, he has really stepped up and carries about 95% of the rubs and sauces all of our barbecue pitmasters have in their classes. He also owns an amazing product called Crawford's Barbecue. Texas Pepper Jelly, Gunnar Wilhelm. We've got an exclusive offer for any of our customers that have bought classes from us. With a special discount to get a deeply discounted knives from them. If you haven't bought one of our all access classes and you bought an individual class, if you reach out to me in an email at info@bbqchamps.com, that's info@bbqchamps.com. If you have bought an individual class from me, if you send me an email with your name and the class that you bought, I'll verify it. I'll let David know, and we will get you a discount on his 3 of his Lightning Pro Series knives, or the Pro Cut knives. And it's the paring knife, it's the boning knife, and it's the chef knife. And you're getting these things just a little bit over cost. It's a huge deal that we've worked with David at Gunnar Wilhelm. I know he's had well over 30 orders just in this last week. Also, our newest sponsor, TapaQ. Absolutely love this. I got a chance to play around with it a little bit this weekend at my last competition. They're wireless probes for monitoring the meat temperature. Also, they've got a real cool fan system on it as well. If you're looking for a fan-assisted and food monitoring, temp monitoring system that is wireless, I highly recommend you take a look at this TAPIQ and also Barbecue News Magazine. Well, we've got quite a few folks steadily coming on. Once again, thank you so much for being here tonight. And without further ado, we got to bring in the man of the hour. This man right here, Mr. Bill Purvis. How are you doing, brother?
No, I'm doing good, Mike. I'm doing real good.
That's good. That's good. Glad that you took the time to be on our show. You have kind of taken the barbecue world by storm. Kind of remind me of Mr. Lee Hickle, the way he come running in there and shot up to the top. And you come in last year, and I think you finished number 3 in the IBCA points chase. Congratulations. You had two tough competitors with Phil Breeden and Lee, number 1 and number 2. Right. And you finished number 3. And I tell you what, congratulations to you on an outstanding year of what you did and your accomplishments. And, you know, the Bible says give credit where credit's due and or honor where honor's due. And we certainly do want to honor you, brother, for what you've done.
Thanks a lot, Mike. I appreciate
that. It's definitely been a great year for you. I've asked people if they've got questions for you to let us know. We've got a lot of folks coming in, and let's see, here's one, a GT Backyard, or GT Barbecue. Let's see who else we got. Please tell, let me go back up here. At Barbecue Champs, please tell Sir William Purvis hello from Iowa. Daddy Dutch Barbecue.
Daddy Dutch Barbecue.
There you go. This guy's been cooking all over the country, but we're not going to get too far ahead of ourselves. So, Bill, that's what we're going to be talking about. I love how you took Kcbs World as well. You're doing very, very well in that. Let's get started with this, Bill. I've got a couple of questions for you. How long?
Shoot them off.
Who was? We always like to find out who was the big influencer in you when you was growing up. Did you always have a knack for barbecue? Was it a mom, a dad, an uncle, an aunt, or did you just later on in life, kind of like Lee and a couple others, just later on in life, kind of got after it?
No, I mean, I grew up obviously down here in the South, so my grandma, my mom, my whole family, they all cook. I wouldn't say, my grandma or mom or anything are doing barbecue, but, as you grow up here in Texas, you're kind of growing up into barbecue, at least, my uncle, pretty much my whole family, my uncle would do a lot of barbecuing and whatnot. So, I mean, I was thinking today, trying to think when I cooked my first brisket. It must have been, I think I was probably 17 or 18 years old,
Wow. Yeah.
So, I was just, when I was coming on the show, I thought, wonder what it was when I did my first one, but I definitely didn't get into competition, but I'd been cooking barbecue and cooking all sorts of stuff, whether it's, my grandma's chicken and dumplings or whatnot, so, but I've pretty much been cooking most of my adult life. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, but not necessarily competitive cooking.
So when did you got into competitive cooking? What, like year and a half, 2 years ago?
It's coming up on 2 years,
Okay.
I think my first competition was March. So, I mean, it's probably coming up on 2 years now. So,
okay. So coming up.
But yeah, I mean, the company I used to work for, we sponsored a rodeo team for the Houston Rodeo. Mm-hmm. So all of our customers would want to go down to the cook-off. The cook-off at the Houston Rodeo is obviously a big deal. There's, 100,000, maybe even more that are down there. Joey would probably know exactly how many show up.
It's a lot.
But we would sponsor. Is it 400? Yeah. I mean, we would sponsor one of the tents down there and, give out wristbands. So I was always down at the rodeo at one of the tents giving out wristbands, but it was, pretty much a party tent. It wasn't exactly, they were doing competitions, but we were just sponsoring just for our customers to go down there and have a good time and hang out. And I never even stayed for the competition part, So,
right.
But, but would cook for, the company. I would cook fajitas and do a bunch of always.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him? Yeah, we've been on this thing now for 30 minutes trying this before, Bill. I think we done lost you. Ain't this crazy? We had this happen last week. Bill, if you can hear me, log back in, log off and log back in because it has locked up on us. Well, keep the questions coming. I see a couple of them we're going to get to. We tried this earlier, and I had Bill on here for probably 30 minutes, and we never lost him. So I'm going to send him a text and tell him to log back on. Oh, there he is. You're back. We lost you there. I told him, I said, we've been on here for 30 minutes prior to all this earlier today, and we never lost you. So if you got anything open on your computer, close as much stuff off on your computer as you can. And if you got anybody in the area, if you're on Wi-Fi, tell them to get off, because sometimes that eats up
our
the
whole
bandwidth.
System is nothing but Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
So
yeah. Just make sure nobody else is watching a movie or anything like that. I forgot to tell you that. So here we go. The Woodlands Internet. So
I'm telling you, I think it'd be pretty good. I'm pretty close to the freeway. So
yeah. So so you just kind of been rolling along, a couple years cooking, and what kind of pitch you cook on?
Cooking on drums. Yeah,
cooking on drums. What brand you use?
Yeah, I've got Race Crew drums from Sagmiller.
Okay,
Jason Sagmiller. So
yep, got a chance to cook with him this weekend. We had a good time. Jason's a great guy. I tell you what, that young man. I saw Alan Freeman had a couple of them. And I got a chance to take a look at them. I tell you what, they are dadgum nice looking drums. So anybody out there looking for a good drum, Race Crew Barbecue, isn't it? Ain't that the name?
Yeah, Race Crew Drum Smokers.
Race Crew Drum Smokers. That's it.
Yeah,
Race Crew, man, they are good, man. They are nice looking. So I think he finally had to break the orange drum. I see he's kind of branching out now, and you can get different colors.
That's right.
It was funny at the beginning. It was it was orange. You was gonna get an orange one, and Alan Freeman's like, "No, I gotta have my fluorescent green or yellow or whatever that wild color that Alan has," and he finally got it. So, oh goodness gracious! All right, so let's see. I know a couple questions have come in. Joey said, I love how you took on Kcbs World as well. Yes. Now you have went from the IBCA, which is very, very different than Kcbs. The IBCA, as a lot of people may or may not know, but it is backyard. I call them backyard judges. It is judges right off the street. You never ever know who you're cooking for. And Kcbs is a little different. 4 meats, 30-minute turn-in times between each one of them. Garnish has to be in the box. I guess it doesn't have to be, but they want it to look pretty. And then you have certified judges. So what was your transformation of going from why did you want to go from IBCA to Kcbs? Was it the challenge? Was it just, what was it?
Yeah, I mean, IBCA had shut down during the pandemic, and obviously Texas was hit pretty hard with the coronavirus, and other parts of the country, weren't suffering as much. So they did have events happening while we were shut down here in Texas. Kcbs was still putting on events, and we had sat around here for, I guess a good couple of 3-4 weeks, and we're used to cooking every week, a lot of us. So I decided to load up and go try my luck at a Kcbs. I had taken, Fred's class mainly for the IBCA, but Fred did a class where he actually had both. He covered both meats. So I kind of had my notes, going up to doing the first one. I'd obviously written all my notes down. So went up there and I think I finished, 6th in Oklahoma, so I had a top 10 finish, and pretty much got hooked on it then. I mean, it was pretty, it's fast paced. It's a little bit different than IBCA in the speed of which, you've got to do your turn-ins. So, it seemed to be a lot more challenging, and just with the timeline aspect of having to flip meat around every 30 minutes and do a turn-in. So,
right.
And two, there was a group of us, me, Lee, Fred, a bunch of us were all going, and Phil, a lot of us from Texas were all going around chasing these Kcbs comps, and enabled us to meet a bunch of those guys as well, which was really cool. Like Aaron Manmeat, and a couple of those teams were really good about welcoming us. Like I said, we were shut down and didn't have anywhere to really cook. So, but I'm hook, line, and sinker on that Kcbs. So.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I tell you what, when you jump in the way that you did, and somebody had just sent up a post just a second ago, how is it IBCA cooks can transition to KCBS so easy, but KCBS can't go the other way? A lot of it just they may not quite get it as tender is probably what I'm thinking. I mean, they're not used to that. You got to get it really, really tender for IBCA. So, but man, I'll tell you what, for you to jump in the way that you have, and you have had multiple top 10 finishes. What have you cooked? About 7 or 8 KCBSs in the last 3 months?
I think I've done 12 or 13.
12 or 13. Wow. I knew you was going all over the country.
Yeah.
So, what KCBS cook is his toughest competition?
What did they say? Who is it?
At BBQ Champ Scouting, what KCBS cook is his toughest competition? So,
Right.
heck, I think they're all tough. So, you want me to tell you one? That guy right there is one of the tough ones. Hey, Fred, glad to have you on here. He wants you to sign. He wants your autograph. Just walk over there next time and sign his pit for him. So
he's always giving me grief.
I'm telling you, Fred is a great guy, and Fred, I want to get you on our show one time, buddy. I mean, I'm that guy right there is a class act, and I think you want to know who the toughest competitor he probably have to face? That man. Right, anytime that man shows up at a competition, you better bring your A game, because Fred is going to be there to kick your butt. I mean, he's humble, he's good, but that guy is like stinking slick 50. He is just smooth. So I don't know if he's got the name Iceman, but man, that may be a new nickname for him, because
the thing about Fred is he's taught so many people. So I think he's taught so many different people that even whenever sometimes he doesn't win, he can see that, people that have taken his class have done good or whatnot. So he still wins sometimes, even when he doesn't win.
Yeah. We see that. We see that with a lot of our barbecue guys. I don't know how many people have taken Corey Mikes and Lee Hickles and Joey's and Craig and all these guys, and they getting beat. I know Lee has gotten beat up by people that's taken his class numerous times, and he don't care. It makes him feel good that he can give back, and these guys are going out there and doing that good. So, all right. So here's a question: did you recently switch to Midland meat briskets? How do you like them?
I love those. I mean, I ordered some here just a couple of weeks back and cooked them in Waco, but I thought they were great. I mean, they were just as good as a Snake River, and being from Texas, Midland's a Texas company, so I'm happy to support those guys. And like I said, the briskets they sent me 2 really, really nice briskets. So I was on the phone with them today trying to get some more. Yeah. So I think Paul Whitaker is going to bring me one down to New Braunfels this weekend.
Okay.
But yeah, I really liked them,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And if I recall, doesn't Fred cook Midland? Does he?
No, he does.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And I'm pretty sure that man right there, Mr. Aaron Leslie, I think he cooks a lot of Midland meat.
Aaron does too. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very, very good. Yep. Midland meat, best around. So, Fred, how would you like to be on the show? I bet a lot of people would like to hear you. Give me a thumbs up or something if you'd like to, because I'd love to have you on our show. So, yeah, absolutely. Midland meat. I've seen some of the meats trimmed out after they're all done, and they are absolutely gorgeous looking briskets. I've never cooked one, but they look amazing. So, Justin, yes, I promise you, if you haven't tried one, you need to try Midland meat. They are absolutely gorgeous looking brisket. So, let's see, Fred, watch out the second hand. I think second hand model. I think that's supposed to be second hand model. We've seen Fred sometimes with the, yeah,
no hand modeling for me.
Yeah, come on now. Fred's got that down. I'm game whenever you're ready, Mike. Yeah. Good deal. I'll be calling you, Fred. We need to get you on the show as well. So you would have to pay tacos to come on. So he can come on anytime, Joey. Don't you worry about it. So, oh, goodness. Let's see. A good trim comp brisket looks like a big flank steak. Well, I'll tell you what. Some of them Midland meat briskets, those are got to be some of the most well marbled briskets that I have ever seen. So let's see. Anybody else got any questions for Fred while we're rolling through this? Let me know. Just keep them coming. I'm trying to run through and get as many of them as I can at the same time. Let's see. We've talked about, okay, so what was your big deal? I know that I had talked to you earlier. You've been doing a lot of KCBS competitions, and your purpose was to try to get a top 10. Is that what you're trying to do, team of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously I made top 10 in IBCA. I finished last year with number 3. So, and instead of chasing IBCA points, I figured I would, I obviously had some success early with KCBS, and, I've cooked 13 events. I think I've finished in the top, so, and right now I'm actually unemployed, so I can go out and drive and do a little bit of traveling. So I figure since I'm unemployed and have a nice little severance, I might as well go out and do some KCBS. And if I can get some other Texas cooks, which I think there are,
right.
Obviously Fred's been doing them for quite a while. Fred's had a lot of success in KCBS.
Yeah.
And I know, for a lot of us other cooks, whether it's me, Lee, Phil Breeden, a lot of us are going to try to start doing some KCBS. And like I said, Fred's been won most of the competitions. I've been able to hook up and kind of carpool with him. So it's been really good to spend these long weekends, whether it's in Georgia, Mississippi, or Kansas, and
Wyoming.
Wyoming. Exactly.
That was the craziest. I was like, man, you guys are nuts driving from Texas to Wyoming. I was like, man, that was crazy. All right.
And see, Aaron was in that group as well. Aaron Leslie, he was, we were all kind of beating around together because there really wasn't enough to do, and I think all of us have had, pretty good success at it, and I think too, maybe, I don't know, KCBS judging has been challenging because of COVID.
Right.
Which I think has probably helped some of us in IBCA because they've had to pull in people off the street, that weren't maybe certified or whatnot. So I think that's benefited us in our flavor profiles because we're used to cooking for people just anyone and everyone.
Yep.
So, but it's been a fun ride for sure.
All right. So a couple questions. What is it that made everything to start to fall in place, and when start falling into place? Recipes, equipment, techniques. What do you think it was? A little of all of it?
I think it's definitely, I think it's probably more finishing techniques. I knew how to cook barbecue, before I started doing comp, but I didn't really know some of the techniques as far as, keeping, one of the biggest techniques that I learned early on was Phil Breeden, and this was before, I took his class as well, which helped me out a lot. But just keeping the meat moist, not letting a real defined bark set up on it for IBCA. They're cutting with the knife and fork. It's a cheap plastic knife and fork, so try not to get it. The cheapest, yeah.
The cheapest, yeah.
So he walked by me one day early on at one of my first couple of comps and, was looking at my ribs. He's like, hey, man, keep those ribs nice and moist. Make it easy on that fork and knife,
Right.
So, just little things like that,
Yeah. Tenderness. I think I've heard Fred say before, tenderness wins a lot of barbecue competitions, and I think it will. And it definitely will win in IBCA. You got to keep it tender. So, all right. So here's another question. You wrap foil or butcher paper for your competition brisket?
Foil. No, no butcher paper foil.
No butcher paper. Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right, I've got a lot of windshield. A whole lot of windshield time, especially that one that come one to Wyoming. Man, you needed to pack a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner. That one was way crazy. So, how did the name, I've often wondered this, so that was a good time to ask it. How did you get the name Chicken Fried Barbecue?
Well, I started cooking. I was doing a lot of hunting. And I was shooting pigs with my bow. I did a lot of bow hunting. I was shooting pigs and I would put them on YouTube. A lot of my kills, I would like to film, whether it was deer hunting or whatever. And I had them all on YouTube, and I'd actually went to Africa hunting, and I'd killed a zebra with my bow and put that on there. And I think it went kind of viral a little bit, and there was some hate mail of people, me shooting a zebra with a bow.
Right.
and it was attached to just my personal name. So I quickly had to come up with a name. I didn't want a bunch of death threats because I shot this zebra with a bow.
Right.
So I quickly changed the name to Chicken Fried Hunter, so just on my YouTube channel for all the kill shots that I was doing. So, and then when I went to my first competition, they're like, hey, we need to name it, and I just quickly, well, I'll just go Chicken Fried Barbecue versus Chicken Fried Hunter. So
there you go.
just kind of happened. I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. It just
that was it.
Just kind of rolled off my tongue from, I like Zach Brown, obviously. So
right.
That's where I came up Chicken Fried, so.
Yeah. Have you ever cooked on a Rectex?
I have a Rectex. Yeah.
Okay. So here's somebody asking, what do you think about the Rectex 380?
Now, I don't know about the 380. I've got an old 680.
Okay.
So it's the old big one. And I've got a little bullseye,
Okay.
So I'm not really up to speed on all their different models, but,
right. But the
one I have is probably about 7 or 8 years old, and it still runs, still cooks. Use it that often just because I'm usually on drums and cooking every weekend. So during the week, I'm not necessarily using it a lot. So
right. Wow. Well, I know that your success has brought you on some sponsorships as well. And I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about your sponsorships. I know that you're a part of the Cosmo and Royal Oak Pro Team.
Right.
And I also know that Mr. Brian Crawford, who's one of our partners here on BBQ Champs, you're part of his Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop team. So how did you go about that? Was it just consistent cooking? A lot of people are wondering, how do you get that? So if you're out there, how do you recommend getting sponsor pickups on stuff like that?
Well, I think a lot of them too aren't necessarily too concerned with how well you cook. A lot of the whether it's the Cosmo Oak, it's more about social media presence. When they're sponsoring someone, they're obviously wanting to get their brand recognized, and so if you have the bigger audience you have, and even on some of those, I think barbecue's kind of a little bit behind as far as the rest of social media. So even some of them I know for a fact, just from, talking to my buddies at Cosmo and Royal Oak and stuff, it wasn't even a case of how many followers you have. It's just as long as you have different, a Facebook page for your competition team, an Instagram page for your competition team, and you see that a lot more in Kcbs. A lot of those guys really, when they do their awards or they talk about their results, a lot of them put it on their team pages, as opposed to here in Texas. A lot of IBCA guys really just post them on our individual pages,
Right.
So, but I know the guys at Royal Oak and the guys at Cosmo, they definitely look to see that you've got that it's easy for those guys to find you on Facebook and Instagram, as opposed to your team name. I don't think they necessarily care so much about followers. It would be good, but I think to some degree, if they know that you're working it and you're putting it out there, because there's other guys that aren't even competition cooks that still fell and got on pro teams for Cosmo and stuff, but they're just putting out content,
Right.
So,
Well, I think that's the biggest part, just being the presence. And just like we've got scrolling down at the bottom, and, we certainly ask any of our viewers, any of our customers to support, our partners, because it's about presence. We have a lot of traffic that comes through BBQ Champs Academy and our website. We got mass amounts of traffic, and we can give them a lot of exposure. And it's the same for, I think, what you're doing with these, Cosmo and Royal Oak and Brian. Your presence on social media, it's the hashtags, it's the tags, it's, and it helps keep your name out in front of people. And that's the biggest thing, is trying to keep your business name out in front of people. And you can do it, like you said, you ain't got to be the best cook in the world. It's just being consistent out there doing it. So, okay, another question here. Are you planning on cooking the Royal next year? I'll probably answer that one for you and say, yeah. So, Daddy Dutch, I guess you're going to be doing his dishes again, because I got a feeling this guy's definitely, Lord willing, he's going to be at the American Royals. So, Okay, let's see. What is your favorite fuel for drums?
Royal oak charcoal, baby. I mean, that's all I
Royal.
use,
Yeah.
And
Do
I
you
mean,
do
I've
you
been
use any wood, or is it just
nope.
royal oak right out of the bag?
I'm taking royal oak right out of the bag.
No chunks,
No,
no
I am
nothing.
no chunks, no nothing.
Okay.
So
You use their orange bag? That's the only one they got in the lump, isn't it?
a big red bag. Yep.
Big red bag. Yeah, I said orange.
Yep.
I meant red. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite stick burner? If you had to go to a stick burner, what would it be?
Well, I'm probably going to be getting a new stick burner. But Jambos are obviously that's the ones that's
Cadillac.
I think that everybody the Cadillac that everybody revotes to. So, but the wait is so long.
Yeah. Right.
Jambo would be up there. So for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm getting a little stick burner built. But
What-
it's
You gonna
it's
use
no
it for-
Jambo, but
You
we'll
gonna use
see
it
how
for
it goes.
competition, or just use it for one?
I think I
particular
might.
meet?
Yeah, I think I might. I might want to switch to just play around with doing one fire versus
Just
four.
to have it. I
So-
think I saw somebody else. Okay, here's another one. Best way to keep bark set during wrap.
I don't really worry about the bark during the wrap. I just I do the bark after the wrap.
That's it.
So
That's
yeah.
it. You take it out of that foil, you can do a lot of stuff to get that bark to come back around.
yeah.
So that's the same. That's my philosophy on it as well. I've got ways I can get that bark to set. So,
And I don't think that even in Kcbs, man, those guys don't even really. A lot of those guys don't even really put a bark.
Yeah.
They don't need a bark. In Texas, I think people do want a bark, but in Kcbs, not really.
Yeah. Not looking forward as much.
There's a lot of barkless briskets that win.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, it's pretty fascinating to see the difference in the two, and how it goes from one extreme of just the judges, off the street, as opposed to certified judges, fast turn-ins, traveling all over the country, score sheets, and you can actually get comment cards to take a look. Okay, do I make an adjustment? You make adjustment, and did it work at the next competition? Have you noticed that? I was talking to Lee the other day. It was too sweet, so he goes and changes it, and now it's not sweet enough. It's just like, dang, man, that's tough. So
Yeah, I mean, I think the term certified judge too. Some of these guys maybe they
let
have
it go to their
been
head.
2 years ago when they got certified.
Right.
So I don't know that. I don't put too much stock. I try not to put too much stock in the scores. I mean, some of my scores have been good, but if I get a 7 in taste, or if I do get hammered, I may not exactly make a bunch of changes as far as just off one contest.
Right.
If something starts to trend, then yeah, maybe. But off the jump, I'm not putting too much power in what are the individual scores, because I mean, you got 6 judges, and 3 of them will give you 999, 999, 999, and then maybe the other 3 are 988 or 898. So
Right.
For one judge, a comment card on one judge to run around and make a bunch of changes, you could end up chasing your tail at lunch.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time you get a comment card.
Yeah,
So
in a hurry. Absolutely. Hot and fast or low and slow?
hot and fast.
Hot and fast. I figured he was cooking on drums. You was probably letting that stuff rip. So,
Yeah, let it rip.
well, I don't know. It's definitely good to see you jump out there and be able to do that as good as you have. And I know you have taken a lot of classes, and that helps. That we have seen that help with Barbecue Champs. So many people have come in and taken so many of our Barbecue Pitmaster class. Same likewise with our state grill masters. My goodness gracious, with John Lindsay and Matt Overson and Terry Roan and Shauna Rapolo and Ty and all these people that are out there with these classes, and they're just doing amazing jobs. I mean, we've got so many people even on here right now. And that guy right there, Scott, and first competition he ever cooked in a state competition, I think he finished 7th out of 64 teams. So, and it does help. And with that said, and I know we're coming up, and we've wished everybody a happy Thanksgiving, but we also have, and I want to make this real quick before I forget about it, for all of our customers and listeners and everything else, if you've been sitting on the fence we are going to go ahead and do a Black Friday Cyber Monday coupon. And I just put it up on the website. It is active now through next Monday on Cyber Monday. And what we've done is we've got a 10% off any of our classes or any gift certificate. And it's good from now through the end of midnight on Cyber Monday. Use coupon code BFCM, Black Friday Cyber Monday. We want to just do something for our customers. 10% off. Like I said, any class. It doesn't matter if it's an individual barbecue class, a state class, gift certificates. We've got so many people that's just been wanting something like this, and we felt like this is one of the absolute best times to do it. So, and I know you have definitely said that classes are a way to get ahead of the learning curve. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, for sure. I think, I took, like I said, I took Fred's class. I took Phil Breeden's class. Both of those classes have been huge as far as my learning curve. I've taken Corey Mike's pork class on Barbecue Champs,
Right.
so as well as Lee's class. But I definitely think will definitely shorten the learning curve for sure.
Yeah.
And not only that too, some of these guys, you end up being friends with them, and the community is really good. I've had a lot of people that have helped me. That Jason Sagmiller, I've never taken his class, but he's helped me out a lot. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's been a lot of cooks that have, I think Fred told me early on, if you just sit around and listen, you'll pick up a lot of tips just from listening.
Right.
So
Right.
if you just listen at cook-offs, you'll learn a lot just by listening to other people ask questions and sitting around at camps and whatnot. So
Yep. I remember Lee Hickle saying that. Just sit around. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn. So and there's no doubt. I mean, to me, it's just, talking, and people, a lot of times they may not tell you everything, but they can certainly throw out some tips. And that's what it's all about. I'm sorry.
Oh, I know. He's terrible.
I was away from the screen. I saw that. We're just gonna leave that. That's a good one, Fred.
Boxers or briefs.
Boxers or briefs.
Commando.
Yeah. That's more information than I need. Oh my goodness gracious, that's a good one right there. Man, we got all kind of crazies. Diet Coke or Coke Zeros. So, oh goodness gracious alive. Anyway, Barbecue Champs is like I said. Thank you, Caitlin. I know it's helped. I think it's helped you out. I think I've seen you recently doing very well, and it's definitely helped a lot of folks. So, what do you prefer, IBC or Kcbs?
I like them both. I really do.
Different.
So just different. Obviously, IBCA is a lot closer. So but right now, I've really been enjoying the Kcbs a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right. What's your favorite class, or the one that really helped you, or did you take bits and pieces from each?
It was definitely Fred's and Phil's. Phil Breed and Fred's. Both of those have been
good classes.
Both of those have been great. So.
Certified judge of begin perimeters to make it more of a point reference than IBCA off the street. Yep, that's true. So IBCA one day. Yep, Todd, come on out, man. It's a lot of fun. So it is a lot of fun. Goodness gracious. Let's see what else we got over here. Keep the questions coming. We're trying to keep them answered one by one. That's for sure. So. What's the hardest part for you for Kcbs? What do you think the hardest part is from the transition from IBCA to Kcbs? What do you think the hardest part is?
I think it's just if you do go out there and you do 5 of them in a row.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get out and actually be able to do 4 or 5 of them in a row. The first couple were really, my trailer was a train wreck because everything just felt so fast.
Right.
And of course, I've been doing a lot of them by myself, without having, the first one I did by myself, and I talked to the promoter, and they did get somebody to run my boxes for me. But most of them
cool.
I've been doing by myself. My wife's come on a couple of them, and she's ran my boxes or whatnot. But and I think if you can get out there and you can do 4 or 5 of them, everything kind of slows down. It doesn't seem as fast.
Right.
But I mean, it's the same principle as IBCA, at least for me. All my meat's done before chicken turn in. Everything's cooked. Everything's finished.
Right.
Cooking before chicken turn in on IBCA. It's the same as Kcbs. You got one more meat, so you do have to juggle, another meat, but just get everything cooked, everything in the Cambro, and work out your finishing timelines. And Kcbs is a lot faster, but if you do 4 or 5 of them, you realize it's not as fast as it is on that first day, so
right.
And it's not as intimidating. You don't need, most of those guys that are doing Kcbs, they're all cooking them by themselves. They're not, there's several, I guess, group teams, but, Slaps Barbecue, Joe Pierce, he's running
right.
his own boxes. Brad's running his own boxes. Fred runs his own boxes.
Right.
There's, most of them are doing it. Aaron, I think Aaron's wife's out there, but I'm sure Aaron, Man Meat Barbecue, he'll be running his own boxes if he had to. I don't know that it's that much of a time saver. A lot of them being, it's only less than a minute walk for most of them. So
right.
unless you get into the real big competitions where there is some pretty big walks, but at least the ones I've been doing, it's, I've been lucky to be close enough to turn in and whatnot. So
right. Sean's got a question. Have you ever judged or thought about it?
I have judged. Before I actually did my first IBCA, I judged 2 different IBCA events.
Yeah.
So I judged the showdown in Kingsville, and I judged one over here at Pitmaker.
Okay.
So yeah, I did do a couple of rounds of judging before I actually jumped off and did decided to do my first. Yeah, right. I think Kirk left some good juju in that trailer.
Yeah. Do you miss cooking out of your RV, or do you like your setup that you have now?
I love that porch trailer. I'm going to cook New Braunfels this weekend, and Manuel was sending me a text that the weather could be bad because I think Manuel's coming. And I really don't even look at the weather because I'm on that porch trailer. I'm protected from rain.
Yep.
Doesn't really matter. So whereas if I'm in the RV, I got all drums getting rained on, everything else. So
Right.
I prefer the rain, actually. That way everybody else has got to fight it.
Oh, yeah. I'm the same way with mine. My cooker's inside. I got my tailgate down. You'll be sitting there, be doing the rain dance, man. Let it rip because I could care less. I've got my door shut and I'm sitting in there high and dry. So it definitely has its advantages, especially in the pouring down miserable rain. So
Right.
Let's see. A couple more. Why do diehard IBCA think they cannot cook Kcbs? They use the I don't want to hassle the garnish. If you can cook, you can cook. That's a true story, Rick. I mean, all you got to do is it's just one more thing. Do your cooking and just, the boxes. Heck, you can build the boxes on Tuesday or Wednesday, put them in the refrigerator, and you do that before you ever even go. I don't think the boxes are so much a hassle. I think most people are scared of it. It's just maybe intimidated a little bit by the fast turn-in times, getting everything ready, having all that done. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. So
yeah, I mean, I think early on I was, the whole kale or parsley boxes, and how long does I don't eat vegetables.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long those vegetables
You didn't get that girlish figure from vegetables.
and I don't know how long they stay fresh. You know what I mean? So I had to figure out, on the kale, if you get it, is it going to start turning colors? So, but that stuff's pretty resilient.
It'll hold up for 2 or 3 days, pretty easy. So, all right, favorite meat to cook in competition and personally. That's a good question, John.
Man, I probably brisket. Definitely brisket.
Yeah, that's mine. I love brisket. My gosh, my brisket just melts in your mouth. So. Oh, goodness gracious. I know what I'm sending you for Christmas, Fred. Bill.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
Just someone have to provide their own Sharpie.
He's always on me about that damn Sharpie.
I'll get you. Fred, I'll send him a case of them. I'll send him a case for Christmas. So, oh, goodness gracious. Oh. Let's see. Is it hard to handle full-time work and compete in comps? That's a good question, Jamie. It is pretty tough, but he is semi-retired right now.
Right.
He's currently unemployed, so
Exactly.
he could do a lot of competitions right now. That's why he's running all over the country.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, no, I got a decent enough severance. So I'm really blessed that. I guess I'm blessed that I'm unemployed, but blessed that I got a decent severance. So
Yeah.
I'm able to get out and cook. And but sooner or later, I'm going to have to do something with my life besides just cook. So
Right. Oh, well, just do like Lee, just go make a living off of it, and then you'll be set.
Right.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, he always has a Sharpie handy. Oh, my goodness gracious. So,
Yeah.
oh, goodness. Can I order a cooked Wagyu from you for Thanksgiving this weekend for turn-ins? Yeah, I'll take 9 slices, please.
Right.
Oh, goodness gracious alive. That's always the running joke with us. So, anyway. Oh, goodness. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's pretty fascinating that you have done as well as you have, and it's just amazing to be able to jump in and be able to be that successful in 2 different organizations, because I'm going to imagine it's a little bit of a learn. What's the biggest learning curve? That's a good question. What's the biggest learning curve that you've seen from IBCA to switching over to KCBS? What
To
do
me,
you
it's
think?
been chicken for sure. Chicken, obviously, you're cooking 6 pieces as opposed to half chicken. So, and they got bite through skin. It's chicken seems to be a lot more, brisket and ribs. I mean, I'm pretty much running my same rib and same brisket that I've done in IBCA. It's pretty similar. Man, I'm doing a little more flat meat and no point meat in KCBS, but it's still essentially for me, it's the same process. And,
Right.
A little bit different of a trim job, but chicken is it's a whole different animal. So
You cooking legs or thighs?
I do thighs, yeah. So
Have you played around with legs any, or you just stuck on thighs?
just at the house, just a little bit at the house, but I feel like I'm just sticking with the thighs. I mean, I started doing thighs and just trimming, getting the fat off the skin and doing and just really trying to pay attention to those details, as far as weighing my thighs before I trim them, weigh them after I trim them, making sure I'm, running some pretty consistent sizes and whatnot. So,
right.
And then the process of how long to put them on my drum open as opposed to how long the butter bath. So all of that has been a journey to, for a while there, first couple of comps, I didn't use muffin pans, and then I started over the muffin pans, and then I wasn't walking. So then I ditched the muffin pans and,
Right.
So it's just going around and trying to, and I'm not, at the same time too, if I'm at a competition, I'm pretty social. So I don't have a problem asking people for help either, which,
Right.
I had a phone call today from a guy that told me that, he wished he would have done what I've done. He's had maybe either too much barbecue pride or whatever to take a class. And he spent 3 or 4 years before he finally decided to take a class. And then once he did take a class, he started seeing everything improve, so, but I'll get my aggregate from a bunch of different cooks and then figure out which way I want to go with it, so.
Right.
Because people will help you, if you ask for help, there's the community's been really, really good in that sense that everybody's got an idea and everybody's willing to help, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Any certain geographical area that you prefer to cook?
No, not. I mean, I've enjoyed going around. I've enjoyed Georgia. I've enjoyed Mississippi, so I'm not really, I really don't, I haven't really traveled, too far out west,
Right.
So, but yeah, I don't, like I said, I did like Georgia. My results were good in Georgia. So, I do like that.
You had a good shot out there.
Yeah. So,
IBC or KCBS, you cooking the flat And the
Flat
point
only.
or flat only? Okay.
Flat only in KCBS.
Yeah, just not fooling with any of the burn-ins.
No.
Are a lot of people turning in burn-ins, or is it just a few selective from what
I
you're
don't
saying?
think there's as many people turning in. I mean, there are people that are turning in burn-ins, but I've scored. I had a perfect 180 score in Georgia with just flat. So I think when you do burn-ins and you get comment cards, then you're kind of not sure, are they talking about the slices or are they talking
Right.
about the burn-ins? So for me now, just starting off being new to KCBS, it's 4 meats. You cook burn-ins, it's really a 5th meat,
Right.
because you've got to cook it different than maybe you cook your flat,
Right.
You've got to sauce it different. You've got to salt it different. So for me, just the 4 meats is good enough now.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. Now that's good. Let's see, Errol. Which brisket class should I buy from BBQ Champs Academy? I cook on drums. You cook in? Do you cook? You cook in Texas, don't you? Let me know that. I mean, there's a couple awesome Texas cookers. Joey Smith cooks an amazing brisket. Lee Hickle, of course. If you're trying to just buy one class, Lee's classes are all access only. So if you're cooking in Texas, man, it's hard to beat Joey Smith's brisket. It's good. Corey Mike's brisket is amazing.
I'll be right back, Mike.
Okay, yeah. Craig Sherry has a very good brisket as well. So if you're in Texas, Pacific Northwest, Pacific area. So what state is that in? If you're out toward the California, Arizona area, Sterling Smith actually cooked on a drum, and he cooks a lot out in that area, Errol. So if it's somewhere out on the West Coast, Sterling does pretty dadgum well on drum cooking his brisket. He's got a great brisket class. Shows you exactly how to do it. So let's see, Oregon. Yep. Yeah, I think that would probably still do pretty well in that area. Anything on that West Coast. He cooks a lot up in that area. He cooks a lot in Utah. I know he's been up to Utah cooking his recipes several times. So, and Sterling cooks on drums. I think we used a 22-inch WSM in the class, and basically it's the same as a drum. Yeah, you see who's getting you a little hiccup every 20 minutes while driving. Situations. Lee, if he was riding with me, like I tell my wife, we're riding. When this thing's run out of gas, then we'll stop. So, oh goodness gracious!
They know me too well.
Yeah. Goodness gracious!
I had to go check the tires. That's
what it was. You had to go kick a tire real quick, make sure the air was staying up in it. So that is too funny. Well, once again, if everybody is looking to get somebody a class, Bill has obviously said classes do help. Don't have so much pride that you won't go take it. If you want to just see the reviews, go to BBQ Champs Academy or go to our website, bbqchamps.com. There's a little review button over on the side of the bar, and there's, goodness gracious, I don't lost count how many reviews, but they definitely help. And we've had so many people in the state classes that have just won in multiple contests, gosh, I can't even keep up with how many top 10 people that are winning every week in, week out. We've got people that has taken Corey Mike's class. Heck, there was a guy, Steve Dodson, we had him on here a couple months ago, but he's a KCBS backyard cooker. And he took Corey Mike's class at the beginning of the year, and he won Team of the Year, cooking, chicken and ribs. And man, I tell you what, he has just been absolutely thrilled at how well he has done. So there's so many classes to take, whether you want steak, whether you want backyard. Hey, if you guys are out there still at the last minute wanting to know something on turkey, we have a Texas pepper jelly glazed brine turkey that we did. And Craig Cherry had one of the most amazing tricks that I've ever seen done on a turkey. And I tell you what, you can buy our turkey class and our ham. We did a port wine brined ham. And I tell you, you can get the class for $7.98 if you just want just the individual class. But we've got an amazing class on there for how to do a ham and how to do a turkey here for Thanksgiving. And a lot of it's just the techniques. Obviously, very good brines. You could probably use any of your favorite rub on either one of them. It's just that brine process that we did, and the trick that we did on the turkey was just amazing. Never had seen that done before. So pick you up a coupon. If you use the coupon BFCM Black Friday Cyber Monday, it'll be good all the way to Cyber Monday at midnight, and get 10% off any class or gift certificate. These gift certificates, I think we sold like 4 gift certificates already today. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out there again because time is running out. So let's see. Yeah, I had to go check. I tell you what, I think they pick on you quite a bit. From what I've seen, it's it's okay. It's okay. He who laughs the loudest. It'll all come back. So, hey, you know what? I think we might have Fred on here maybe the next week or so. Paybacks.
Exactly.
Just start writing your list down. So
get the hand model on the screen.
Yeah, sure. Get the hand model. Hold it up there, Fred. Hold it up there, buddy. Well, I tell you what, it has been a great show tonight. Bill, you are a first-class act, brother. I've always enjoyed cooking with you. I think what you have done has been amazing. And
been lucky.
Hey, lucky. You know what? Barbecue is you got to be good, but you have to have a little bit of luck. There's no doubt about that. So, and you have done both. You have been good and a little bit of luck going your way. And when you get them two together, that's what it takes. So we don't laugh at him; we laugh with him. So. Oh, goodness gracious! But yeah, it's been a great show, and I'm certainly glad that everybody has been with us. Hey, we want to wish everybody out there once again, like I said from the beginning of the show, safe and happy Thanksgiving. If you're with family and friends and loved ones, keep it safe and enjoy these times together. I hope everybody's enjoyed our show. Bill, any last words, brother?
No, I mean, like I said, I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving, So, it's time to sit back and relax with family and friends. I know for us, we're not doing a big one because of the virus, so just be our immediate family. But yeah, so hope everybody has a great holidays, So
yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Well, we're going to check out here. We've enjoyed it. We hope that everybody will continue to join us. We've had a lot of folks on here tonight, and we hope that everybody will be back with us. We try to do these every Tuesday at 7 o'clock Central Time, and we talk all things barbecue, just like we're sitting around the fire and just chatting and talking. And we have not only that, but we've got some great steak cookers that we have on here as well. And Brother Fred, I'm going to hold you to the fire, buddy. We're going to definitely get you. I know. You hear that laugh, don't you, Fred? I definitely would love to have Fred on here. I think it would be a great addition to our podcast that we've had. We've had some great people on here, and certainly love to have others on here as well. So, Matt, good having you on here, buddy. He is one of our steak cookers, man. You just keep killing it. You've done great. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and tell your lovely sister, Miss Consistency, happy Thanksgiving as well. So, well, Fred, I tell you what, buddy, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you, brother, for coming on our show. We do appreciate it. Once again, we got that coupon for anybody that wants to get our class. It's good for the end midnight on Cyber Monday. The coupon code is BFCM. Get 10% off any class. Fred, thank you, brother, so much for being here. Good luck on your run to making top 10 in Kcbs this year. I think if you can get the time off, I think you've got your feet up underneath. You seem to be doing very well with it. Keep it up, brother.
We're going to go after them, so we'll see. You need to, like I said, you need to get a little bit of luck with you because there's a lot of good cooks out there, So.
Absolutely.
And the contests aren't exactly close to us here in Texas.
Yeah,
so.
That's the biggest. That's the hardest part right there.
Yeah. So.
Well, I hope everybody's enjoyed this show tonight. Fred, thank you. Or Fred, Bill, thank you once again. Sorry about that. Been talking about good. Fred so much. That's all right, Fred. It's coming, brother. We've had so much fun tonight. And I hope everybody has a great one. As we always say, have a lot of fun and smoke on.